Hey, BB, can you hear me? Testing 1, 2, 3. Having all sorts of hardware issues today. Okay, cool. I think also my system sounds were coming through the stream for a second, like when something gets disconnected and reconnected. Because I had to unplug my mic and plug it like 3 times to get it to work. Gosh, I feel like this thing's on its way out. May have to ask the bosses if I can expense one. Like, it comes through good when it's working, but it's like not working almost every stream. Like, before stream, it gives me so much trouble. Old. Had it years. I fixed it. I usually have it muted, but for some reason it was on. And I could hear it, and I hate the system sounds. Those drive me crazy, so I took care of that toot sweet. Welcome back, everyone, to the Damn Challenge stream. We're just going to do some last-second checks, and then we'll go live. I have been having all sorts of technical issues, like I said before, with Mike primarily. And also, I was having issues with the Steam Workshop all morning. I woke up really early to download maps because I wasn't feeling well last night and couldn't really get around to downloading them last night. I usually download them the evening before after all the entries are in. And then, there was a couple that came. There was one that came in like 11 o'clock last night, so either way. Yeah, anyway, I'm excited for the stream. I'm excited to be here with y'all. Sorry about, like, the technical issues leading up to today. Let's see here. So you hear me good? You hear the music good? Everything's good there? So we're confirmed. Give me just one moment to flip us over to the alternate scene. Hey! Oh, fix the camera a little bit. Hey! So I have a bit of news, Brain Bomb. I mean, we know we're aiming at least for Q2 of this year, so Q2 2025. What that means for you is likely in, between, let's just say, between now and end of June. I would assume basically between April and June, somewhere in there. Kind of the window we're aiming for. We do have a lot of like teasers and information about the update though, and I could share some on the stream if you're interested in seeing if you haven't seen any. But really quickly, the point of today's stream is to showcase maps from a bi-weekly map making contest we host. It's called the Damn Challenge. Everyone in our community is invited to participate. It's completely optional, though. And the last theme was called Crossroads. And so we challenge our community to use Crossroads as an inspiration and make a map, of any shape or size using that theme. A bunch of very neat entries were submitted. We have 8 entries today, and there were quite a few really good ones, so it was really hard to pick a winner. I know I say that a lot, but the thing is our community's really talented when it comes to making maps. This particular one was by Lalandra Blue. I don't know if they're watching right now, but if they are, congratulations to you. Oh, my chatbot crashed. Let me fix that. Okay, I think I can. There was an update. It just says, but I don't think I need it. So congratulations to Lalandra. Can we give some love to Lalandra? Give her some pats on the back. Congratulations. Like I like to say, we can't all win, but we can all be winners. So let's just be good sports. Congratulate the winner, and let's enjoy this amazing map. By the way, I want to make sure all our feeds are coming through right now. I just got my Steam to come through for the first time. My Twitch was my Twitch was fine. My TikTok was not working though. Okay, I just got my TikTok working. It was crashed earlier. It wasn't like live for me. Are you seeing any of the other ones, Atlam? YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, anything like that? Can we confirm if we're getting those? Or we go too far into this? But yeah, I've got some interesting new teasers because I've been able to kind of get into the build lately and play around with it. So if anyone's interested and would like to see something new, I can show it in a little bit after we look at this map. Does that sound good? I want to showcase the winning map for a few minutes before we jump into showing some teasers. Now, that being said, hey, Very Twisted, thank you for dropping in and thank you for the lurk. Appreciate you. Hope you're well. Basically, I'd like to point out, I do see Steam chat. I've got it. And there's, a handful of viewers, actually. And if they have any questions over on Steam, feel free to open up the chat window and let me know during the stream. It's AMA format, so if you have any questions related to Dungeon Alchemist, I will answer them. Ask me anything. So the other thing to keep in mind is, as the community manager, I am kind of poised to answer your questions, at least pretty well. I can show you how to do almost anything in Dungeon Alchemist. I can speak to our development and our roadmap and upcoming stuff. Oh yeah, this map is quite large, actually. Well, 43 by 42 isn't too bad. So, let's take a tour through the map. So, you have the crossroads, which I see here as the iconic, crossroads with the devil with a contract. I love that you used Hendrik. Thank you so much for using Hendrik. Underutilized asset, and I love seeing him. Okay, I don't want to get like a copyright strike, so I'm going to stop. But anyway, yeah, right? He is so perfect. I'm surprised not more people used it. It's a great, because he's got like the contract all ready to go. This is kind of the more evil version of Hendrik, like the one when you load DA. There's a few versions of Hendrik out there, right? There's like a chibi, kind of fun. There's a stuffed Hendrik. There's a few different ones, like the one we load in the Steam is kind of, or like in the stream, in the loading graphic is kind of like a chibi. But this one I like is kind of just the extra impish, devilish Hendrik. Anyway, and then my favorite part is this like empty cart, or the cart with no party members except for this one who it looks like they're just like, no, we're being tricked, as they get sent through a portal, right? And as you could see, here's one of them like popped up. So that looks like party members. So it looks like they were teleported to these like normal spots, like all these different spots in the map or something of that nature. That's kind of how I perceived it. Or they were being teleported to that spot and then like are having to fight their way out of this. It looks like the river Styx here, right? Or am I misinterpreting this? Either way. Hey, Kalali, how you doing? Simona Gal, how you doing? You found it. You did. Thank you for popping into chat. I appreciate the support over on Steam, honestly. The Steam messaging is not really intuitive. I'm not like a big fan of it. So if you're watching the stream, it looks like this, right? Most likely on Steam. Something like this, unless you went like full screened, right? You'd be on the broadcast page. There's chat on this side, but in the previous page, the chat isn't showing by default, so you have to click show chat. It's silly that Steam kind of hides it, doesn't want people to see it. Anyway. Who is that guy? It's like, boom, 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 boom. I like this infinity shot that we've got going on here. Sweet infinity shot. Anyway. Hey, Lila, how are you? So, We've got kind of this river Styx thing going on, which I found was very, very cool and creative. Thank you so much for confirming, Simone. I appreciate it. Yeah, watch whatever platform you find is, preferable. And, whatever makes you happy. But I just love this, like, hellish landscape we've got going on here with, like, death and the boat and the whole thing. The whole 9 yards. Oh, very, very hellish. Like, you're not really gonna be enjoying yourself here. Of course, we've got Wim, our beloved creator of Dungeon Alchemist and our art director, Wim Deher. He's got his own token. Darth Brooks, it really is a huge value, right? So Darth Brooks over on YouTube says, the library of user maps alone is worth the cost of DA, in my honest opinion. And I cannot deny that. There is like 10,000 plus maps, almost 11,000 maps now. Oh, we're so close. 21 maps to go till we hit 11,000. I mean, even if there was 1,000 maps, it'd be a great value. But there's so many good maps. You can sort by most popular, even by all time. So you can see like the highest rated maps since the workshop launched, right? Download all the hits if you want, right? You could sort by most recent, which is my favorite, and see all these new maps that are being shared on the workshop by our community, the latest stuff. There's always diamonds in the rough that are easy to miss if you're just looking at, like, the most popular ones, right? Additionally, you can see your maps that you've uploaded as, like, a big list. Check them all out. Or you can see maps that you've subscribed to previously in a list. It's really nice to browse this way. Yeah, not to mention it is a great software, right? It's really great. Honestly, I know I'm a little bit biased as the community manager, but I do think we're making something spectacular. This next update is going to take it into a whole nother level, and honestly, the devs are really proud of it. I'm really proud of it. The whole team's proud of what we're working on with Fun with Objects, and I'm excited for the community to see it. Ooh, a terracotta, like, burial site would be insane, BB. That'd be fun. But also, one thing I would like to point out is not only is there close to 11,000 maps that everyone who owns a copy of Dungeon Alchemist gets access to for free, but there's also a repository of assets, 3D models. So you have stock assets like 6,500, stuff, signs, doors, nature stuff, like chests, all sorts of things to decorate your environment like you see here. But then there's also assets on the workshop, which a lot of them in this map are from the workshop. You can supplement the assets that are currently stock with ones in the workshop to make all sorts of things and aesthetics, themes far outside the norm, even like cyberpunk, sci-fi, apocalypse, future, modern, because the asset workshop is being filled out constantly, daily, with new assets to add to different themes. Some fit right in with our current aesthetic. Others are like, sci-fi like you see here. Some are cultural. So you might start seeing things that would be like more of an Asian aesthetic, or, things from different history of themes, stuff like that we may not breach or like dive into ourselves. One thing you could consider is doing like a filter for your map after, like running it through a filter, kind of like Instagram style. You know how like Instagram has all those fun filters that you just take your picture and edit it like quickly? There is like a blueprint filter that I've run maps through. I'll just make a map with like blank floor plans, and those, if you just switch it to a blueprint filter, it looks so good. So there's like ways to make, I don't know, that's just the way I would do it, because like we don't have like all that back end editing for that much color. But if you take it, I mean, you could like through the light filters, I guess, to a degree, but it's never going to have that like My Little Pony aesthetic, you know what I mean? So you may want to try seeing if you can find like a filter online that you can throw any image into. By the way, this purple light is a mood on this map. Lilandra, how much did it take you? Yeah, the Fey plane is pretty colorful. It's a good option. It kind of does fit the My Little Pony aesthetic to a degree. I'd say it's more like ooh, but yeah. So, yeah, the next update is taking us to a whole nother level. Here, you know what? Y'all have been patient. Let's check out a teaser really quick, shall we? Teaser! So, in the next update, there will be a universal object scaler. Father! So what this allows you to do is set the scale of every object in your menu, other than the locked scale, like objects that have the lock on them that won't change in size, like pits. It'll force the scaling of your objects to now be either all smaller, all, larger. So let's say you're building like tiny stuff, or maybe you don't like the 100% scale of objects. Bringing it down to 50% feels more natural. Because like this chair is 5 feet, but now it's more like it fits in a corner. Does that make sense? Anything wall mounted, unfortunately, will have a set size. I don't know if we're gonna unlock scaling for wall-mounted objects in this update, though there is a workaround for it that Sack discovered. If you put up a freestanding wall and then hang something on it, and then scale the freestanding wall with collisions disabled, it will then scale the object on the wall. That being said, if you try to rescale it after, it'll reset back to its base size. This feature is so simple but so awesome. I'm very excited for it. It actually, a lot of people wanted this because, let's say you're building like a giant home. You have to scale everything up by hand manually. You could set everything to 200%. It gives you a leg up on that. You know what I mean? Or if you're making something that's smaller, like a halfling home, you have a scale across the board: small, medium, large. You could do the 3 bears home really easily. Also, it shows the percentages of everything in between, which saves you a lot of time. So you can actually drag and see all the different percentages. I'm going to talk to them about adding like left and right with the keypad, so you can one at a time notch it. Oh man, that was a long time ago. Let me show you another cool thing in the next update. So the new update has these neat, fancy, kind of soccer ball looking lights, and you can hide them. So essentially, they'll still show off the light they give off and emit, but the light itself can be hidden. They can also still be up like a disco ball if you wanted them to be. Hey Chris, how are you? Welcome back. So, just to put this into perspective really quick, okay? Basically, you can disable the light source or enable it with a click in a few different places in the menu. And upon export, you can make sure they're invisible. Or they can be invisible even in first person. So you can make sure they're like hidden at all times, but the light still emits. So you can have like magic invisible lights. I believe you can just have them be showing as a normal object because they look pretty cool. Yeah, you see the little thing right here? This symbol right here is the hide symbol. It's green. I don't have this build loaded up right now. I'm not really allowed to show you this build live right now because mine is so scuffed. It's a clip. Yep. I am. Yeah, you're watching a clip. A new hand touches the beacon. They kind of do. Yeah, like a soccer ball or, a disco ball of some sort. Essentially, the point is to draw attention to them and be easy to spot them if you need to remove them. But there's also several menu options like this here where it says show abstract lights. In the lighting menu, there's also in the object menu, you can do that as well. There's a little option in the advanced object menu. Oh no, what's wrong, Zach? Okay, so back to the map. So this was my favorite part of the map, this little piece. I mean, the light it pretty much behaves like a normal light in DA. So you can change the color, you can change the brightness. Pretty much it. I don't know if there's any there is one that will act like a what is that one? That one lamp. What is the one that has the very intense focus? Bullseye lantern. I'll talk to the devs about that and see if we can get a bullseye abstract, because that would be nice. Yeah, a bullseye abstract. Let me write that down before I forget. Where is my pencil? Okay. Sorry about my pen. Bullseye abstract line. Dated. Okay. Also, they're working on object rotation, so that can be considered a light as like an object. Pretty sure it's in the object menu, like here. So, anyway, the abstract lights, if they're not in the light menu, that's silly, but essentially, my thoughts behind it would be you can control it and move it like an object. You should be able to rotate it, right? If there's a bullseye. I can't speak to that yet. Watchtower, I don't know. In my build, I don't know of anything that builds ramps, per se. Probably the best way to do that currently would be, if let's say you wanted 2 versions of the map, or 4, there's one purple, one green, whatever. You export them as each one and then kind of overlay them in a photo editor. So, you just kind of make a composite image of the 4. So, export it with this filter, export it with this filter, export it, with this, all these different ones. Lila, so this is a skybox, which it's kind of a separate contained area of the map where it kind of, in my opinion, starts. Where, the unsuspecting adventurers made a deal with the devil and were teleported to hell, it looks like. To the lower hells. So, if you're inside of this, you really can't see out. It's like the night sky, right? And then when you're outside of it, you can see in a one-way globe, a one-way mirror technically. This is a very cool creation shared by one of our moderators, Asmodeus. You may know him as Dallas RT on the workshop. Any of his creations are marked with that name. And this allows you to put a skybox around your map. You could wrap this thing around your entire map by oversizing it. And, if you have collisions off, you can essentially wrap the entire map with this thing. Move it like this. I'm not trying to destroy your map or anything, Lolandra. I'm just making a point. And ultimately, this area was meant to be its own kind of in a separate plane, its own existence within the same map, which I found very clever and a very unique way to do it. But I was also showing how this could act as like its own skybox thing around the whole map. Anyway, back to that. Your map is so clever. I really like, this was my favorite part, that you had like this self-contained map within a map. It's so meta. It's fantastic. I commend thee. And then, of course, the whole like blood river plumbing thing. Someone made this plumbing. All of this plumbing. I mean, of course, Lalandra made it, but in my headcanon, it's like, dang, the hells are a little extra. Kool-Aid Man, no. Fantastic map. I mean, if you're gonna be in hell, you gotta be extra. I love it. I was great. I was walking around in first person exploring it, and I had a lot of fun exploring it. And from this view, let me show y'all. So you obviously have the kind of like intro area. I guess I'll start from a token over here, and then we'll look around and then hop back. Sound good? You have like this whole kind of River Styx vibe here. The entrance to hell. Assuming goddess of death or someone bringing the souls to, you know, to be ferried. Asmodeus is Dallas RT, yes. Definitely gives that like crossroads to hell, or like the river to, you know, the river of Styx, death vibe. It seems to compound like several different mythologies into one, which I love mashups like this. It's fantastic. Obviously, you've got like the whole 5e hells, but then you're throwing in like what is this, Greek mythology here? And then Crossroads mythology is like I said before, it's heavily ingrained in like American lore, Americana, that kind of stuff. So, so good. Dante, it does have that vibe, doesn't it? Gates of Hell. Let's climb a ladder, shall we? It's a brilliant map when you like look at it from this perspective. It's really well done. Definitely feels like hell for sure. Oop. And then of course the dogs guarding hell. Ooh. What's this guy's story? He looks hungry. That one right there in the background. Let me in! Stuck. Okay, I had to trade tokens. Oh, this guy's like heckin' junkin' stuck. This was my favorite. Like, when you're in this perspective, you get to see a lot more. Just like all the scrolls and the decoration. I don't know. I really appreciated all the effort you put into this. Hey, see you later, Simone. See you, Watchtower. Appreciate you being here. All right. So, congratulations to our winner. Again, fantastic map. We are going to move on to the next to the next map. You know what? If you want to stick around for about 3 to 5 minutes, watch, like maybe, okay, let's do like 5 to 10 minutes Watchtower. I'll show yours next. That way you get to see yours live. I could do y'all's a favor. I know you're going to do family time. Can it wait for 5-10 minutes, or is it like on a schedule? Lilandra, again, very, very well-planned map. Very much like it. Like I said, my favorite was this little self-contained map within a map. Well done. Hey, Ganador. I butchered your name, I'm sure, but thank you for the follow on Twitch. And Namastacy and John Sellers, thank you for the likes over on Facebook. Much appreciated. I'll reach out to you between now and end of day Monday, Pacific time, to send you your gift card, your $10 Hero Forge gift card. So expect a DM from me. And if you have like DM settings that like prevent it from friend or non-friends or whatever, I'll message you after I send you a DM request if I can and let you know, or we'll figure it out. Okay? Sound good? Congrats again. Let's move on to the next one. We're going to show off Watchtowers real quick so he gets his glory. Okay, so Watchtowers map. A very quaint little village tucked in some forest. But this is not to be underestimated as a map. It actually has a lot of heart. So a few things that really, really stuck out to me in this map when I was doing my pass. Okay, I loved the covered bridge, right? The use of the grandstand as a covered bridge is actually incredibly clever. I don't know. I feel like I haven't seen this before, but maybe I have. I've seen a lot of maps, so it's hard to remember every little thing. I had a cat fur by my eye. Anyway, and then this area right here, this little like walkway along the shoreline with the water wheel, all this stuff is it's just such a vibe. I love the aesthetic. It's a great way to fill the space, and seems like that would be a thing people would do, you know, to make it like more accessible and easy to get around. Oh man, we got like, oh, the structure's right to the edge. It kind of gives you a little buffer. Yes, there was a beehive up in the tree. Like little details like this are great. Watchtower, that's why I love your maps. That you have like lots of little neat details. So this was another thing I loved, okay? You come over here, you see this sign, right? Danger, keep out, warning. It's got a fairy, little warning here. Or pixie warning. And then, of course, over here, there's a fairy ring just hiding in the forest. How do you check DM settings? It would be, you know, in your Discord settings. What I recommend doing is setting your DMs to only allow DMs from, like, friends, pretty much. That way you don't get DMs unexpectedly. Oh. But in your, like, you know, down here in this corner, you can click user settings, and it's under there, I believe. Like, DM settings or communication settings, something like that. Whoa. A plane just like rattled our whole house. Was that a helicopter? That? It was big. Whatever it was. Terrifyingly loud. Okay. Give me him. Oh, he's a baby. Do you actually see him in the tortilla blanket? Puppy! Who's a goops? He's all... Oops, sorry. Got your nose there. So I live in Vegas, and you know, obviously there's an airbase nearby, and then there's two airports are always flying all over the place. Yep. Okay. Go with mom. You're clearly miring her.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. He's going to go hang out with his mom, and we're going to continue looking at maps. So let's look at the overhead of this. Very clean, nice layout. Not necessarily like a, you know, traditional like square gridded layout. You've got a nice like just natural flowing feel river with some offshoots, which I feel like you probably carved these. This seems like AI gen, and then the rest looks like these little offshoots were done by you. I'm not sure on that, but that's just the vibe I'm getting. But the homes, you know, along a path that you carved and kind of just made your own is really what I like about that. These little just like walkways all throughout. Oh, don't go into this forest. It could be dangerous. There's fairies in them woods. Love it. It was like it just reminded me of like a simple place you'd run into in like Fable or yeah, pretty much any fantasy game. The little chopped tree here or the whole chopped area. Love it. How much time did you spend on this, my friend? The stage? This is great. It just has a mood. 10 to 12, not bad. Like something like this, it could be used in any number of campaigns. Anyone could download this and use it as a, you know, a map in your campaigns, like as a place your players visit randomly in their travels. You know what I mean? Well, I'm glad you got it submitted. I saw you got in before the deadline there. Skin of your teeth type stuff, so thank you for getting it submitted. Appreciate your efforts. I don't want to hold you up too long. Oops. I really do love the map, though. It is a fantastic build. This was also really fun here. I don't think I've ever seen a round building with the cabin like outside, and it looks so fun with all the bent wood. Like, how did that even happen? Could you imagine steaming that wood in some massive facility, like a huge log, and just bending it over like ages? Probably take months to bend it to that shape. Like, seems so, right? It's so impractical, but also cool. I know, I love it. I just love this. That made me laugh when I saw it. I know it was like, it just seems like an interesting choice. Just heat the river. All we have to do is make Mount Doom. Little storehouse here. Yeah, my friend, you did a great job. Thank you for getting it submitted on time. The stable's great there. Love the little pig pen. I love that they get their own little space. Look, you made just a room there, right? In that oval shape. Cool. Great way to get that nice, that gross padded dirt texture. So, raise of hands, do you think any of you could use this type of map in your campaigns? This little fishing spot looks legit. Bet you a bunch of old timers just come here and chill out all day. Look, there's a fishing pole, a little bobber. Might be best to ask in Discord, my friend, because then we could cover it inside Discord. Raise his hand. Definitely could use it. Watchtower, I'm glad you're back making maps, my friend. I'm sure your players will love this when you get your campaign going again. Beware of the fairy ring, though. If your players find this, it'll derail your campaigns, I'm sure, because, you know, last thing you need is your players ending up in the Feywild for who knows how long. Raise your hands if that's happened in your campaign or you've done that to your DM. Driving right in. Yes, Chris, how can I help you? Okay, see you later, Watchtower. Thank you so much. Have a good one. Tell Simone thank you for letting me borrow you for a couple extra minutes. Well, here's the thing. Like, it's a fantasy world. Like, right, Sabka? Like, it's a world full of magic. And so I don't think it's unrealistic. In our world, the way to make this would be insane. The steam room for this would be enormous, right? Because it'd have to be big enough to get this huge log in. You'd have to source wood that's all similar in shape and length, and then bring it in and steam bend it around this, like, cool jig. It would be insane to watch, and I'm sure magically probably could be done, like, no time at all. There's probably a spell that can, like, alter the shape of wood. Actually, Fabricate could probably do this, like that. So technically, you know, magic makes it easy, but I would just love how would a craftsman make this? This map's got a lot of heart. It's very fun, for sure. You could make it? Bear. Dang. Okay, let's hear how you would do it. I gotta hear this. Now, I'm not, like, challenging you. I'm just curious how your process would work. Because in my head, I'm thinking sourcing the lumber, right? You gotta go out, find lumber that's reasonable aged, unless you're sourcing it from a mill already. You know, it's already treated and ready to go, and like all similar sizes. But then, like, this wouldn't, like, am I right in thinking you need a massive steam room to shape it or something? Or can you do it just a little bit at a time? In, like, a steam box and just shape it and kind of pull it out as you go? Gotcha. See, I was kind of thinking that already. Though I do know that, yeah, there is entire forests that were planted to make, like, ships that are now, like, they became obsolete before they could grow to maturity. But how would you do that with an entire log? Like, look at how it's wrapped with a log with the bark on it. That's what I was confusing. Like, that's a massive piece of singular piece of wood, right? Because from this end to this end all the way around is a single piece, except for on these, like here. Carefully. Chris. That's the answer. Okay, next map. There was some fun entries. Like, a lot of the entries really made me smile, and I think it's due in part to collaboration between our community members. I'm just saying, like, would a whole log, fit in a steam box and allow you to bend it little bits at a time until you manipulate it into this huge, like, band? Like something like this, you know? Be pretty cool. But what I'm starting to notice is we're getting lots of tokens that are, like, animated, interactive, and fun. And people are starting to put them all over in their maps, in their pubs and at events, and it's bringing maps to life. Yes, this is Lila's. One of the dancers is getting a little too crazy, but pretty sure this one here is not quite friendly stream rated. I might have to move her over to the this area. Family friendly, remember? Broken King, welcome to the stream, first off. Hello. I appreciate the kind words. Thank you so much. I'm glad you caught me live. Can I ask you a question really quickly? Lila, nothing against you. I just, remember the stream's family friendly, so I had to move that for a moment. What is your favorite thing about Dungeon Alchemist? Now that actually, let's ask everyone. Let's get a community poll really quick. Everyone, if you feel up to answering, what is your favorite part of Dungeon Alchemist? Because Broken King said he's really enjoyed using it the last few months, so I'm just curious what is his favorite, their favorite part. First person view is fun, isn't it? The community? Yeah, I like the community a lot. As the community manager, I really vibe with our community, and I feel like I've been kind of fostering this like space that allows our community to really vibe and excel and grow and be positive. Sack. Eliza. Sack pops up just to say that. Of course you do. One of my favorite aspects of Dungeon Alchemist is how our community is able to share maps and assets with each other. Like, I know I go over this a couple times a stream, but I have to just point out that, like, so many people over the last 2 years have shared maps, and that's why there's nearly 11,000 of them here. And it's such a time saver for our community to be able to dive in and just download a map in a pinch. You know, maybe work and your hobbies and friends and family and all these other, normal obligations maybe got in the way of your session prep some weeks. And being able to rely and lean on the community in that way to get a map in a pinch is great. Also, it's great to get inspiration from these maps. There's so many things that people think of that I never would have thought of. And I love opening them and seeing what they've done and getting inspiration from them, but also reverse engineering them. It's fun for me. That's part of these streams, is we dive into the maps together, look at what they did, and figure out how they did it. You know what I mean? It's always a treat to see that. Now back to Lila's map. Akmink, is that what it is? Akmink, welcome, first time catching live. I'm glad to have you here. Honestly, like, I am so glad that we can get people here who aren't normally able to catch it or are first-time viewers. And I just want to remind everyone, if you're not here normally or if you're a first-time viewer, everyone is welcome to join the discussion, but you're not being pressured to it all. You're welcome to kind of lurk and do your thing, watch, listen, learn. But the streams are hosted AMA format, which means ask me anything. So as long as you have a question that's related to Dungeon Alchemist, feel free to let me know in chat, and I will do my best to provide you assistance. By the way, we are showcasing maps from a contest we held the last 2 weeks, that we host every 2 weeks, actually. It's called the Dan Challenge. It's a map-making contest we host on our streams and in our Discord. The current theme was Crossroads. So our community was challenged to make maps of any shape or size using Crossroads as inspiration. We're currently looking at Lila's map, which I actually see the literal crossroad here, which I loved about this map. If you get up top and see it in this way, above, you have a crossroads, an intersection, right? But it seems like these roads divide these quadrants into almost separate realms, if you will, in my opinion, or separate realities to a degree. Maybe Lila can chime in a bit. So we had a lot of cool things that people have said. The creativity I can put into the maps is really great, right? A great like creative outlet is so cathartic, right? This was one of my favorite spots on the map, by the way, Lila, the grave. The inspiration is huge when checking on other people's maps. You know, I think I've heard people say, "Oh, it always frustrates me when I look at these maps because I feel like so overwhelmed and I'll never be able to make what they can make." And I like to flip that around on the opposite end. Let's put in the other perspective here. Okay, it means that that's possible in Dungeon Alchemist. And it means that if you practice and apply yourself to Dungeon Alchemist as a map maker, you can do that. It's possible. You know, Dungeon Alchemist is such a versatile tool that starts very easy, you know, and it scales very quickly in a way that it makes it easy to learn and grasp the tools. But then you have, you know, the community and our dev team and myself supporting you along the way in the streams, you know, in our Discord, our social networking, our Steam, providing assistance, you know, in real time on the streams or on our wiki, you know, 24 hours a day or through videos and tutorials and stuff like that. It allows you to, you know, learn and grow at your own pace, but also if you really want to, you can take Dungeon Alchemist, you know, to the next level and make some crazy maps. Hey, Jack, I'm wonderful. How are you? This right here, making the cave dark, wonderful. Wonderful. One thing I always love to do is insert an image that is just completely black because it makes it even darker. You're waiting on a new PC? Dang, what kind of PC did you get? Like a custom build? What do you mean, Broken King? Like, you know, just like file open recent or something? Are you playing within Dungeon Alchemist and you're wondering if it'll be easier to just like automatically trigger from map to map? Broken King, in fact, can I ask one follow-up question? How are you playing your games? Are you playing in person? Are you playing in Dungeon Alchemist? Are you playing printed maps? Are you playing with a virtual tabletop? Let's learn more about your game if we can. I want to try this rounded one. Yeah, the rounded one's always my favorite go-to for that because it just kind of has like that. How you doing, Bane? Gotcha. So, I mean, our current build that is live is not conducive to that. I mean, you essentially want to make sure it's navigable in first person. That way you can walk around in it and go through it. Ideally, what you would do if you're making a multi-level map is save as at different intervals. So you'd make an adjustment, first floor, file, save as, castle, floor, ground floor, right? And then you would start adding on to it and do castle, you know, floor 2 when it's all done. File, save as, floor 2. And then save as, floor 3, save as, floor 4. So it's continually, you have like 5 different versions of the map as it's being kind of built. And that way you can transition between them either in DA really quickly. The other thing would be as you're building it, make sure it's navigable in first person. That way you can walk around in it. However, our next update will have multi-level in it and will make it a lot easier to tackle this. And it's likely being launched, you know, in our next quarter 2. So just to give you an idea, like, say you're building a castle or a building with multiple floors, they'd already be stacked upon each other and you can transition between them with like ladders or stairs or whatever. If that makes sense. Jack, what are those PC specs? Let's hear them. But the next update will allow you to transition between the floors really easily with a hotkey, plus or minus, and there'll also be like a little UI that allows you to select into the levels. 1 second. Oh. Earlier I showed a clip that had the... Okay, if you look over here on the right, you see this number thing on the right? This is how you'll tell what level you're on. So I have it set to the US floor setting, which is floor 1 is the first floor, instead of 0. And then when you make a new floor, you can click up arrow or you can push up, and then so if I had a room, there would be an arrow here to go up. You can't go into the ground on dark parchment because there's no ground. You can just go up. But in any terrain-based biome, you can go into the ground, so that's nice. So essentially... you can either click up and down, or you can use the hotkey plus minus to transition between the floors. Another thing is when you transition between the floors, it automatically shows the grid at that level, so it's really nice and easy to keep track. So essentially the grid jumps up to each level that you're on. Really enjoyed the cemetery over here. The vibe it gives off is just chills. I don't really want to visit, but I feel like I might have to for a quest-related item. That a little Tina emoji. But yeah, all I can say is the people in this pub seem like they're having fun. They're vibing. They're getting along. I mean, for stills, I use Photoshop for chroma key removal, for the green removal, but you could use any free, like photo editing tool. Gag knows of one that like is just online that's green removal, like for free. You just upload the picture and it removes the chroma level. But like GIMP has, color removal and it's free. But I have like a Photoshop subscription and I use that. The other one is I use Wondershare Filmora for my video editing. I'm telling both, Zach. I'm telling both for, just so I'm covering it. So, and she did say softwares. So, anyway, or programs. So I'm covering all the bases. Please, please, please bear with me here. I do have half a brain. So, I use Wondershare Filmora for my video editing. They have like a one-time purchase for a license, and then they offer like subscriptions for extra effects and stuff. That part's optional, but it comes with a whole bunch of base content, including chroma key removal. And essentially, I think the key thing though is when you're making tiles is how you stage the map. Which is very important. So we're going to get really, really green here for a moment. So this, for instance, is essentially what the export was of the drill that I was trying to turn into a tile, right? And when it's exported as a WebM, you can put it into like a video editor and then remove the alpha, or just like keep the alpha channel, and then everything in the background is made transparent if it's been removed. So I use the chroma key removal to kind of cut out the background, and then I set it as like an alpha channel, so it would just have this only. So it acts like a PNG. Is kind of a basic example of it, just like on a whatever background. Yeah, I know, it's a directional mic, and it's going out, too. It used to be a lot better. Here, let's check my sensitivity on the mic. It might be very bad. Okay, Chris, see you later. Thank you for being here. I don't know why, but the other day my mic turned. No, it's up. Okay, we're up. Anyway. Like the other day, it was down to like 10% for some reason in Windows, and that made it super duper quiet. But this allows you to take this and, put it into, say, Foundry, and put it into your maps as an object that you can move and resize and manipulate that isn't just fixed in your map. So this is kind of like what the point of all this was getting towards. Now, to that end, I'm not sure of I guess they mentioned a free one up there that could work. I essentially, to make this work, is how you capture it. You want to make sure you're in a map that is close to a standard resolution as possible. And in my experiments, I ended up finding... I gotta clean this stuff up. We'll put it on the drill one. So this map here, it's not that big, right? What I've got here is a 20 by 10 essentially map. Okay, so, or was it 20 by 11 was what I really wanted? Maybe it was 20 by 11. One second. This isn't the map you want to use. This was a bad test, I remember now. That's it. Tile stage. Maybe that's the same size. Nope, it's 20 by 11. So, essentially, roughly each square is 100 pixels, right? So that would be, 2,000 by 1,100, which is incredibly close to 1920 by 1080, right? It's 80 pixels off and, 20 pixels off. So essentially, you can crop it in a video editor to 1920 by 1080 and not really notice much, loss or quality issues. So you just crop the edges. As long as you're putting your subject centered here, it'll be okay. So essentially, you make sure whatever you're working with is centered in there, and then you export at like a 72 DPI WebM. That's the critical part. Let's see here. Let's get back into Lila's map so we can take one more close look at that stonework. I know I got a little sidetracked there. DaVinci Resolve, though, I've heard doesn't work for some AMD chips or AMD GPUs or something. To open DA without opening your last map. It'll always open your most recent map. So to work around that, the smart thing a lot of people will do is like have a simple map you can open that's like a basic map, right? So like in my damn repository, I have a 1x1 that I can open that's just like really, really simple. And I open this before I close DA. That way, when I open DA the next time, it's as fast as possible. When you load DA, it has to load the whole map. So that speeds it up. Sorry, Lila, got sidetracked. Everyone's been asking tons of questions during your map, so I apologize. We'll get right back to it. So, unfortunately for now, it will always open the most recent map you had open. So just think about that in your order of operations before you exit DA. Open, generate a new map that's a 1x1 or have one saved that's a 1x1. That way you can quickly... get rid of or have a map that is much smaller the next time. A new map, basically. Just a new simple map is the way to go. But if you want to improve your performance, your load times, a 1x1 is the way to go. Our next update, by the way, kind of related to that, will have an open recent option, which will be very nice. It would be nice in the settings menu if we had just like always open new. So, like, every time you loaded DA, it would just be a new map. That way, it keeps the, instead of loading the last map, what if the last map was corrupt or crashed or has a problem? A lot of times we'll run into issues where people have to delete their last map or move it or rename it so it could open it. Oh my. It's just me as their helmet raised up. So, Lila, what am I looking for? Oh, there's the mushroom guy. There he is. Very cool. It is scenic. I like it. We really enjoyed your map, Lila. Essentially, it just kind of seems like a four corners where like all these different realms meet or societies meet in one area. Fantastic build. Thank you again for sharing it. I'm sorry we got sidetracked a couple times during it, but we at least got to see all four corners finally. I like the canyon. Yeah, we looked at this a little bit earlier, but didn't really get to talk about it much. The wagon camp with the canyon. Right next to the dragon den grave area. I think you did a wonderful job. Oh, nice. That was your idea? Y'all were collaborating on it or something? That's cool. Very cool. Okay, next map. We're on to the Lured Revs. This one was quite cool. Mind-bending, if you will. Not a very large map, but you don't have to have a large map for it to, you know, have a lot of detail and interesting subject matter. It's not the size of the map. Okay, let's see here. So one thing I don't typically do, Rev, is read the intros, the text for them, because I've found that it will influence my judgment to a degree. It's about the map, not the storytelling. You know what I mean? Some people leave a blank description. Some people throw in 2 pages. So I tend not to read it until after. But if you would like to describe the story here, I would love to hear it. Or we can open it now and read it as a group. But yeah, it's just some people don't really focus on the storytelling or narrative aspect, and I don't want to punish them for that. Where is the... It's not in the description here? Or is it on Discord? Is that the one you mean? Ah, okay, let me grab it really quick. Sorry, I thought it would be right here, be able to do it really quickly. Okay, let me find Mr. Rev. Hello, old friend. We finally get to meet in person. I know this is not how you hoped to meet, but this was inevitable due to the decisions made by you and the ones made for you. Do not fret. This is a place to rest and to reflect. You've traveled so far and done so much. So it is time for you to pause and look back on everything you have accomplished. After setting out to adventure, you met so many people, one of which you dedicated yourself to almost the moment you met her. You found lost treasure, helped restless spirits find peace, and stood your ground and bought your friends time to get everyone to safety. Then you wandered for so long until you found your way here. You have come to the final crossroads of this existence of yours. Once you feel ready, choose how this story ultimately ends. To your left is a new life, another chance to see what you can do on the mortal plane. To your right, you can choose to end your adventures finally. Rest in the ever after. A friend. Oof. Oof. Way to bojack me. It is interesting. Hey, Geronimo. But yet again, another reason why I try not to get too tied up into the narrative theme either being discussed in the Damn Challenge channel or the feedback or the votes. Because yeah, that was impactful emotionally and definitely could have helped sway my vote. So it is about the map itself, but that is a big part of the map. So maybe one of these in the future we should do a theme where, you know, it is also about the narrative tied to the map. You know what I mean? But this is cool. It's essentially like, you know, like a memory playroom, you know, showing all your like most impactful memories before you pass on to the next life. Oh no! Did her character die? The party doesn't know. Party doesn't know. Party doesn't know. Don't tell party. Honestly, it's a very pretty map. I love these little cool, like impactful cinematic moments, and the way you essentially hung the projector, the magic lantern up, was really neat. Oh no! Oh no! Sad day, Sag. Can we get a rip in chat for the potential barbarian's fate? A ripperoni. F. Yeah, let's do an F in chat. F in chat to show our respect. And by the way, thank you for the follow, B. Corrente, about 3 minutes ago. Divine intervention? Oh, it said friend at the end. A friend? Got it. Now that the context is revealed. You gotta drop her token in here. This level is my favorite view of the map, though. Where you're down here at this level looking at everything. It's always sad when one of your player characters go. You know, some people just use it as a way to, like, when they get sick of their character, to just, you know, get rid of it. But I always love when a character goes in a noble way, and it sounds like you did. I mean, it does seem pretty certain, at least, that you're done, but maybe not. Maybe you're a prisoner. Who knows? I wish we had a sit mechanic so you could just sit and lock in the chair. Oh no. Well, you may be alive, but it kind of looks like you may have been PWK'd. It sounds like that, at least. I'm sorry. It does sound like you went in a most noble death. You did the thing that like all the guys meme about on social networking, the way they want to go, where they're like sacrificing themselves and fighting off like a whole horde of things for their friends as they get away to safety. Are you a paladin or a barbarian? I'm confused. Barbarian or paladin or both? Multi-class? The magic lanterns, underutilized asset. Very great use of them here, especially into the, extra dimensional wall space. It looks like a perfect little projector. Sounds like an emotional moment. Did this just happen, just like in the last week or so? So you're getting a little Gandalf arc because you're doing your duty, so there's some divine intervention. You'll come back as... What was your barbarian's name? Onward! So you'll be reincarnated as a new race. I don't know. Who knows? I'm just making up stuff. Could be kind of fun, or you could be the same character and be all paladined out, armored up, buffed. I could see how you're emotional about it, though. I'd be sad too. Wait, we already did that one. Oh yeah, we jumped ahead and did Watchtowers earlier. Geronimo, just in time then. You're going to get to catch your own. Dwarven Troy, or Trey, I like your icon there. So you want to do like a wacky races type theme? Random Ladybird, that's an interesting one. So I was kind of leaning towards us doing a dungeon type theme. It's been a while. I kind of would like to just toss the idea of dungeon crawl out there. Terrain, interesting. Rev, thank you again for sharing your map, by the way. Geronimo, your map, though, quite beautiful. I can see, as always, you put a lot of detail and effort into it. Love that the trolls have taken over this whole area, from... It just looks like... I don't think they built this place so much as they just kind of moved in. But it definitely is their space now. Oh my gosh, do you hear my cat? Kitty! Nana! There, Bubba. Why? Okay? What you need? Is everything alright? You're admiring me. Staring at me. Who's a good baby? Who's a good kitty? You okay? Are you okay? Oh, the goodness. Yeah. So this is Montrazar. Or Monty. or Mema, or Burbs. He has a lot of nicknames. Oh, the babes. Very cute, though. Good baby. Big Maine Coon. Let's see how big he is. It's extensive. And he is... Hey, thank you, Devin, for the roses. Much appreciated. Definitely a daddy's boy. Yeah, I heard you crying out there for me. Notice he came right to me when I called for him. Hey, not so sharp, mister. You're digging in a little deep there. Yeah, those claws are a little rough. You okay? The green screen stuff is it kind of sees his gray as a little green, so it's hard. With this. A little bit. Okay. No sharps. No sharps on my face, please. I'm gonna set you down. Meet your mom. Brother. Brother. Now I have cat fur all over me. Okay. Back to the map at hand. The map at hand. The mapper at hand. He is incredibly fluff. Oh my goodness. So, he's a very, very good kitty. He is incredibly lovey and just loves attention, and he was raised by his two older dog brothers who essentially trained him to be kind of a cat dog, if you will. So he has like dog mannerisms, but also still has his cat instincts. And then his older brothers passed away a few years ago. They were much older than him, you know, his dog brothers. And then, a year or so, two down the road, we ended up getting a puppy. And those two just run around together, play all day. He matches his energy so well. Yep, the bridge troll is my favorite. There's trolls all over, but I think the bridge troll in this one here doing the paperwork, the bookkeeping troll. He's doing his best, okay? Stamped. Standard troll, toll, and monetary policy departments. Serves as the central regulatory body for all toll collecting activities within the organized troll territories. Located at a major crossroads for optimal accessibility, this bureaucratic institution oversees toll standardization, bridge allocation, conflict resolution, and professional development for the toll collecting community. Their main tasks include processing toll rate adjustments for inflation, issuing bridge lurking licenses, maintaining the official registry of acceptable payment methods from chickens to cryptocurrency, and organizing monthly workplace safety seminars. Stamped also handles interbridge disputes, manages the pension funds for the elderly, oh my gosh, and runs the Bridge to Success mentoring program for young trolls just starting their lurking careers. So do they maintain the bridge at all? It seems like they just deal with the bureaucracy and money dealt with the bridges, but no maintaining it is my concern here. Broken King, our community never ceases to amaze me on these damn challenges. They always bring their A game. So the office handles all the paperwork and licenses and laws around bridges, but they definitely don't maintain the bridge with all that money. Interesting.
If at first you don't succeed, there's probably a bigger goat coming. Oh my gosh, that's funny. Persistence. Like a motivation poster. I know it sounds like a cat poster. Attitude. Your bridge is only as dark and scary as you make it. Employee of the month. I know it looks like a cat poster, or it sounds like a cat poster, but it's true. Very cool. I love it. Oh, we got a basement over here. This troll over here seems to be doing very good, hoarding and managing his wealth. Man, if I was a troll, that would be frustrating. I'd have to get a license and pay part of my money to these people, and they don't even really help me maintain the bridge. All they do is just tell me how to do my job as a troll. My natural born ability as a troll. By the way, this bridge is epic. Very well done. Earlier, yeah, there was a cat visiting, but... Or was there a cat in the map I missed? I don't see it. I love just like how organized and unorganized it is at the same time. Okay. Though the bridge does look very well maintained and clean, so I will give them that. Their headquarter bridge at least looks acceptable. It's probably the cleanest part of the whole operation. Holiday Hoobie what now? Oh yeah, like all the bones. So I want to get the spell Augury. I know it's kind of a silly spell for divination. It's kind of basic. But I want to cast it. Every time I cast it as a ritual, I want to be like, the bones! We're going to read the bones! Just leaks down below. Any passerbys in this path have to deal with it. Couldn't extend it over the river at least. Love it. Poop rolls downhill. We all know that, don't we? I don't know. It would just remind me of Willow, right? Augury. Because you can just like have like a bag of bones as your thing and you just like dump it out. You're like, let me read the bones. Oh, weird. The bones tell me wheel. The bones tell me woe. The bones tell me nothing. Cool. Thank you, Bones, for being so informative. Up next, by Chim, we got the Crossroads of Replenished Springs. We need to pick a theme, by the way. We got a half hour left, so let's buckle down as a group and pick the theme for the next dam challenge. Anna! Oh my goodness. What's wrong, baby? You want to sit on your chair? Come here. Come sit on your chair. Oh, you wanna get on Dad's lap again? Come on. Come on. Okay, you can sit with me. Cat.
I do like the idea of race, okay, that random ladybird threw up. Not threw up, that offered earlier. I'm open to, want to hear ideas. The bones is your suggestion, Mondu? Waterways? Hey, I don't need a bath. Yeah. Being incredibly sharp, mister. Being incredibly sharp. To do something like Hellscape. Have we done Hellscape before? That's why we did a winter theme and a desert theme as of late, like Frozen and Desert. We were trying to get more maps in those like biomes. You know what I mean? Which they're kind of underutilized as a whole compared to say like Forest or, you know what I mean? I would be fine with the skeletal plains biome, being used. I would say the way it would get more diversity in a single theme. Doomed, Hellscape would either one would be great, and they would categorize hells, anything like that. So let's see the camera. Okay. Okay. Okay, that's enough. I love you so much, but you gotta go back. Hey, Kitty. Come on. Puppy. Okay. Let's check out this map because it is fantastic. It is quite large and there's tons of objects on it. I'm just warning anyone who wants to download this map. 50 by 50, not too huge of a map, but there's like almost 2 gigs of assets on it, so be wary. Yeah, your map was in the Skeletal Plains. So, here you have a kind of busy main road, right? And then along this main road, vendors, little, shops and whatnot. Looks like here is like an alchemist, and then they maybe have like a little laboratory in the cave behind this where there's their home. I like this little like kind of cross section, little cave that you hid here in the back. Very fun. And then of course over here, little blacksmith or maybe like a farrier, it looks like. But I love how everything appears to be built like right along this like edge along this road on the cliff side, just wherever they could find space. Yeah, Chim, you really like know how to pack in the details, my friend. Look at all this, like this little shop right here, the little tea shop along the road. There's just lots going on. The springs here. Or like the fountain. Man, my computer's even struggling with this, and it's a beast.
I also really appreciated like this hole in the rock type house style where it was just built into the mountain, or you just brought the mountain up around the building, which makes much more sense in this instance. Oh, get in there. Just a little kobold house. I was gonna ask Chim that actually. I'm thinking it's kind of another River Styx type situation here because it's all the dead, but I didn't want to speculate. But it is like kind of right here where this like weird kind of death elevator is. Lost souls, interesting. Jim, what is this centerpiece here all about? This cool like stone with like the big arch around it. Does have a bit of an Attack on Titan feel to it at times with the big ones, huh? It's a spring, huh? Ooh. There's like a road down here. Is this a racetrack or just a like a highway type scenario? It does look like a racetrack there. You got seats and yep. Very cool. What exactly are you looking for, Broken? When you say celestial, that's kind of a broad term. So we have 5 major, I believe 5 or 6 major updates. Hold on, let me count. Fun with objects is our next update, right? Then in no major order, tricks and traps, water worlds, high seas, and instant dungeons. So 5 left. Racing snails, fantastic. Like basic. Oh, yep. There's snail shells. My snail shells. Hello. Like never-ending story style. Now this is shell racing. I think it'd be more fun if you rode them. Nice little track. Really clever. I didn't realize it was a racetrack before. Well, couldn't we cast enlarge on them? Use them as mounts? This right here was really clever, though. Just like this whole, like, stacked up area with, like, a vertical garden going on. Garden all along this space. It's like a really clever use of the space. Jim, how much time did you put into this map? I'm just curious, like, the overall. Ooh, that one looks fun. So here they have a goose choir. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, see you, Lila. Thank you so much for hanging out. I really enjoyed your map. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for your contribution. Duck choir. This person's just about to be like, okay, and... It looks more like a duck pen. what do they call it? Oh man, look at these guys. They are well mannered over here. Just walk into the line.
Oh boy. What?
Go get him, pup. Get that kitty. Get him.
Get him.
Oh.
Oh, they're luring all the ducks away. I'm assuming they're using magic to steal this guy's ducks. Because it looks like a Pied Piper situation here. So, I mean, are you looking more for like token ads in there? Like additions of tokens? Broken King? That's in regards to your question. Because a lot of that stuff, Eladrin, Archons, wouldn't that be like a token, right? And a lot of that stuff you can supplement through the workshop or the asset importer. So we usually don't really focus on tokens so much. We only add like 15 or 20 per update that are usually themed to the update. You know what I mean? But you can supplement your tokens through the asset browser by going here and then clicking tokens. There's 3 categories. You could search these and see if what you're looking for already exists. Additionally... Oh, okay. Gotcha. I mean, as far as those biomes are concerned, I mean, I'm not really sure what you're seeing in your mind's eye. Like, when I say, think of a dwarf kingdom, people all see different things and think different things. One of the most common, though, is people think of Lord of the Rings, right? So when I think of a celestial kingdom, I mostly just think of, like, a kingdom in the sky. Maybe akin to, like, a cloud giant's place, but smaller and more like an astral kind of food, you know? So what I would imagine though is we have plans for other biomes and aesthetics with time. Each of our updates will add new ones, right? And more objects and more effects. If we don't address a theme that would match your aesthetic that you're quite seeking, there may be a way to either import custom assets to supplement your needs, or down the road in a future update, we may offer something that might work. Like, one thing I could see that maybe would work to that degree is like an astral sea or some sort of, plane, like a demi-plane or something like that. And that might be something we address in the High Seas update. Okay, so floating islands, so you're... doing that would be just making something being clever in how you address your map making. Really quickly, there is... What I would recommend you do is search this map up, but I'll pull it up really quickly. Right now, the only way around it is clever map making. Just kind of getting a little crafty within the current system. So forced perspective is the main way, and we'll get back to your map in a minute, Chim. So we're not done with it. Forced perspective is probably the easiest way. So in the real world, forced perspective is used all the time in cinematography, in like ways to kind of trick your eyes to think they're looking at something else or opening something else. No, that's fine. We got plenty of time. So, like, I use in photography class, we would use forced perspective to make it look like if our friend was, say, 20, 30 feet behind us, and you held out your hand like this, it would look like they were standing in your hand because they were like way behind you, right? So that's an example of forced perspective in like the real world. Now, in a map, when you're building that, let's say sky islands, floating islands. In a top-down perspective, you don't really need to show the underneath of the island, right? Ultimately, your players really only might see the edges of the island floating and the top of it. Whatever's on top of it, and, just the edges, right? So, first off, you got to keep that in mind, okay? They won't be seeing the under parts, whatever the structure of the sky island is. Next, is there 1 or 2 big spaces they're going to be at and interact at?
but then some farther in the distance that are like maybe they look really small, but they're way, way off, you know? That's where forced perspective comes into play. So you could make a very small piece of land with tiny objects on it, and it feels like it's forever away in comparison to a much larger, full-sized island. I hope I downloaded the right one. Steam has been rather slow today. Yep, this is it. Okay. So, this here is a really simple map. It's not that big. 25 by 25. Up here, just a little island of land with some buildings on it, like a little laboratory, a home, some land around it. It kind of makes me feel like it's essentially the approximation of like King Kai's planet on like Dragon Ball Z. Like a really small planet that you could run around in like a minute or less. Off to the side here, and it's not really a planet in this case, just a floating island. Another little adjacent island with a coop, chicken coop, whatever. And then there's docks. They're chained together for like that immersive feel, like so it won't drift away if they do bounce around and kind of move. Now, forced perspective. We talked about that earlier. You did, Blue Mage. I'm sorry. We've got a bit of time left, though, so no worries. You're welcome to hang out with us. But here, this is just tiny, tiny stuff, but it's intended to be a full-size, little village adjacent to this, just way off in the distance. Here we also have an airship, just very small. We could put another one up here at the dock. We disable collisions. This will be your best friend. Raise it up, make it much larger in size so it feels like a better scale, right? I'm glad you're here either way. So here, you have one big airship, but then these other ones, they're the same size. They're just off in the distance. You know what I mean? Now, this back here, the backdrop, is one of the most clever parts about this. There are objects in Dungeon Alchemist. Okay, let's get back to the houses. These little tiny homes, these are just objects that have been scaled down. You can find these on the workshop. If you go to Steam Workshop, hit Browse Assets, House. There's tons of prefabbed houses like these that you can just download, put them down, and resize them into a very tiny or very mega home. And then these are pre-roofed, so you can throw them in a map in a city as like a non-immersive village home that your players aren't really intended to go into. Not like a shop or, a point of interest. It's just like a backdrop thing. So they can be used in many ways. But in this case, they just took one of these, right? And made it very small. Yeah, the workshop library is fantastic. And in fact, if you go to collections in the tab there in the top right, you can see collections of assets. So here's like a bunch of those houses in a single download, right? Or there is several house collections in here as well. So you can download different styles of homes. Like here's some modular medieval. There's another brown kind of style. This one's more like wharf. So you could expand your collection of objects really quickly and get all sorts of different things that aren't necessarily stock in Dungeon Alchemist at the moment. Now this back here, this little backdrop, this is the most critical part in my opinion. Is it's an object called the abstract plane. If you go to objects, down at the bottom here you have this kind of looped triangle. Click that. It says abstract. These green objects, these are customizable. You can insert images into them. So in this case, someone just found like cloud sky image, inserted it into that, and then through that little, insert image, and then with collisions off, they scaled it to the size of the map and made that the background.
So the combo of these things allows you to kind of essentially make the map into whatever you want. Now, this would be probably the most clever and simple way to make a map of that style at the moment. In the future, you know, when we add things like ships and water, like high seas, will be around ships and shipbuilding, and I imagine airships and like plane ships. You know what I mean? So. Can you give them a link to the abstract wiki page, please, Atlam? Thank you for the reminder. Let's talk about it really quick. So, do we want to do dungeon or hellscape? Let's pick, people. Those are the two top contenders. Let's pick between them. But in a top-down here, you know, from this perspective, it just kind of looks like the island it goes out a little bit, bows, and then maybe bends under itself like this. You know, so you don't really see the bottom of it. It just, you know, goes down and eventually underneath, you know, somewhere in there. Highway to hell. We just did roads, crossroads. Hellscape Dungeon seems too focused. And I do love the idea of the mashup, but I don't want to force people into like a box of a theme. So one or the other. But if you look at it in top down, it really isn't too bad, right? Anyway, I hope that answered your question there, my friend. Broken King. Okay, you know, Blue Mage, you actually made it before we got to show your map, so all good. Let's go Hellscape, okay? Because that way we'll get more, like, use, most likely, of the biome, right? So everyone can take advantage, hopefully take advantage of the Skeletal Plains biome, which is full of different hellscapes. Can you also direct them to the wiki entry about abstract objects? You may have to go to the wiki and find it. That way they can kind of get some information. It's kind of like some basic guidance about how they work. But Broken King, you essentially can insert custom images into those and use them in a lot of different ways. People make custom floor tiles, custom walls, all sorts of stuff with it. Atlam will get you that squared away. So, before I take off, you said how long did you take on this map again? Sorry, Chim. There's a troll and the goats. I think the ducks are my favorite. Yep, ducks are my favorite. They're both really good, though. I love your attention to detail, my friend. The map just feels so alive, right? Has a lot of heart. So thank you for your contribution to the Dam Challenge. I appreciate you so very, very much. Let's see here. Is there a story behind this centerpiece here? The fountains? Is this like a casino? Confused. It's a temple to gambling? Cool. Ah, gotcha. Cool. Very neat. I like it. Luck, travel, Raven, that other one. All right, let's check out the last map of the stream. The Great Modron March by Blue Mage. Hey, Rev, how are you? I am having an excellent weekend. Thank you for asking. So, this map has a lot going on. We're going to try and cover it all really quickly. So, it looks like a Modron invasion of some sorts is happening here. This was my favorite part of the map, this little, like, horde working their way out of the portal. Did I miss Bearsoft's map? I might have. We'll double check, okay? Oh, maybe I did miss. No? Yeah, maybe I did miss it. I can't remember. We'll double check. No, Bearsoft, I'm sorry. I might have missed your map. I apologize. We'll get it in just a minute. Uh-oh. Map just crashed? I didn't open another map. Or did I? Oh, I guess I did. I thought I didn't click that. Okay. Oh, I just reopened the same map. Thank you for pointing that out. I thought I got them all, but thank you. I think when I skipped ahead to Watchtowers, I might have missed one when I jumped back, so I apologize. Definitely not intentional. I'm only human. But this army looks terrifying. That's all I gotta say. Like a little a halfling's got like a nice little bit of land here. And a lovely little sunflower farm, which is probably not going to last much longer, I'm afraid. Michelle made all these? Really? Nice. But the army looks really terrifying and fun. Very neat. Team tag. So there's no question about it. The Modrons are very cool, as is this massive structure here. So we've got this, I love that, you know, all along this like road, we've got this lovely wall. Then here you have the crossroads with all the, you know, traditional signs that are probably confusing as all. Eagle, is it Eagle or Eagle on TikTok asks, hey, are these maps exportable, and if so, what VTT can they be used with? So Dungeon Alchemist maps can of course be exported. So our maps can be exported for a number of different tools, but when it comes to VTTs, we're compatible with the most, you know, prominent. and known VTTs. We're compatible with Foundry, Fantasy Grounds, Roll20, and we also offer compatibility with Above VTT and numerous virtual tabletops that support the Universal Virtual Tabletop format, or UVTT format. I'd say we support close to 20 or 30 different virtual tabletops, plus any virtual tabletop that can import a JPEG or an MP4 or a WebM file. So, pretty much sky's the limit. You can also export our maps for print, or they can be exported as an image or a video loop for TV tabletops or projector tabletops. But primarily our maps, a lot of people in our community export our maps to be used with virtual tabletops such as Foundry, Fantasy Grounds, and Roll20. So our maps export in a top-down format, right? And they do export as an animated maps. We support animated maps for Foundry and Fantasy Grounds currently. Or you can export an animated map for like a TV tabletop. So when you're exporting, you just pick your format, in this case Foundry, and you can select image or video. If it's over a certain size, MP4 won't work because it only does up to 2048 by 2048. So past that point, you want to use WebM. And then that, in this case, you have the windmills. It would be animated with the windmills and the water and the trees. Lighting sources also kind of move like torches and stuff like that. In this particular map, because they have 2 floors, you'd export the map once or twice, once for each floor. So, when essentially we would delete the whole top floor. Well, file save as floor 2, delete the whole top floor, file save as floor 1, and then each of those would be a separate scene in your virtual tabletop. And then when your players go upstairs, you just load the new scene. So when they hit that staircase in the bottom floor, Monk's active tiles, for instance, and Foundry could just automatically load the new scene. Anyway, let's drop a token. I want to go inside of this place. It looks cool. And it looks fully navigable. Hey, Uncle Babu, how you doing? What's up, my friend? Welcome back. Been a long time. Okay, can I just say this tavern feels so awesome? When I first walked through this in first person, I was so, thrilled. There's room to dance. There's room to, kind of have your own space away from people. We've got a green lady dancing over here. So, it is what it is. Let's check out the garden in the back, and then we'll... Hey, Sean, how are you? A couple years ago, before D&D even, announced or mentioned that they would be doing a virtual tabletop or mapping service, our team reached out to them for a meeting, and it essentially went like this. They looked at our product and said, that's neat. We have no interest in it. Thank you. Have a nice day. So they essentially kind of just brushed us to the side. And really, we haven't had communication with them since. Dungeon Alchemist has always been planned to be system agnostic, so it really just works with any, fantasy-based for the most part. It also leans into, some steampunk and Western. So it's really, not dependent on any one system. In fact, a lot of people in our community play Pathfinder. But at the end of the day, it's always nice to have options and competition. And personally, I don't really see them as competition. I see them as complementary. D&D Beyond is really good for character creation, character management. That's where they excel, having all your documents, all your books, and data in one place, so it makes it so streamlined. I've been checking out Project Sigil a little bit, and, their other map-making tools, and it's great. It seems like a very cool tool. Though I am a little worried about how they plan to monetize it fully. Will this chair cost $1 just to buy this model? And then this token costs $15, But no, like I said, I see it as complementary. As a dungeon master, you can't really do your job with just one tool, right? Look at it like a carpenter. A carpenter can't make cabinets with just a hammer, right? They need a measuring tape and saws and glue and chisels and all these different things to be an effective carpenter, even with years of skill, right? You can't just make everything with one tool. So Dungeon Alchemist is a very great map maker, and it excels in making beautiful maps that are in 3D that you can interact with in first person or in cinematic drone cameras to make like screenshots or walkthroughs, or even follow along and stream this view to your players while they're in their traditional top-down play view in your virtual tabletop of choice. In fact, I played on a table where we'd be in top-down like this, and then the DM would follow along with their token in first person and stream it to us over Discord, so we'd get our player eye view. It was pretty fun. Makes it really interesting and immersive. But you can use this to take screenshots or to, gather video and use it as like a handout in your campaign. One DM told me they use our cinematic camera to like fly over maps like this, and they'll record it and then send that to a player who constantly does flyovers with their familiar. Because pretty much everywhere they go, they're going to be like, hey, can I scout ahead with my familiar? So they just started recording this to send to them. You know what I mean? So it's just an immersion tool at the end of the day. Map maker and an immersion tool. That's like the primary uses of Dungeon Alchemist. There's tools for sound, there's tools for gameplay, tools for character management. I think, when it comes to map making, some are better for battle maps, some are better for regional maps, some are better for, different themes or aesthetics. Anyway, Eagle, I hope I answered your questions to your satisfaction. A standalone door can be set to potentially open depending on how it was configured and uploaded. So for instance, a standalone door can be configured with no colliders by the uploader, so you could just walk through it, so you don't need to worry about it, opening it. A standalone door can be configured on its hinge to rotate, so you can leave it rotated open like it's left open. Additionally, a standard door, like a standalone door that's uploaded to the workshop, can be uploaded with several states, an open and a closed state. An example, there's a gate that was uploaded by Swedish Cook that opens and closes. On occasion, we are invited to participate in the Steam sale. So Steam, they ask people to apply, developers, and then they pick and choose from the people who applied. So it's not up to us. We apply every time, but sometimes we're included, sometimes we're not. But like the last two major sales, like the winter and fall sales, we were included. Usually every major sale we're included. I will tell you this. We do have a demo. Free demo. You can try a slice of the pie before you buy, see how it runs on your computer. There is a forest biome that you get access to in the demo, and you can make yourself a kind of a small tavern, interact with kind of a portion of the objects and the room types and stuff like that. Very fun, simple, and a great way to test drive it on your system before you commit to it. And another major benefit of Dungeon Alchemist over most like different programs and software nowadays, it's a one-time purchase for a lifetime license that includes all past updates and all major future updates going forward, including the remaining stretch goals from our Kickstarter, the Kickstarter that we had years ago. So we have 5 major goals left from that. The next one is Fun with Objects, which will include multi-level room generation. So no longer will you have to build multiple levels, second floors by hand. You can generate the second floor in just a couple of clicks. Save yourself tons of time. It's going to be game-changing. In fact, let me just share a clip really quick, and then we'll move on to the last map. While that's loading. So in our next update, you'll be able to, go underground or above ground. So have multi-level structures with basements or, underground passages and whatnot, and then towers that go up. It'll be very fun. Oh, you're both, Sean? Got you. That makes sense. Good idea, huh? You're making Battletech maps? So cool. How's that going for you? Been a few people making like maps that are set for like sci-fi, and I'm all for it. There's like this whole new niche of sci-fi maps being made in our community. Egel, did you have any more questions before we end the stream today? So why is this? Oh, this is a big boy map. It's going to take a minute to load. You like big dams and you cannot lie. Cartographers can't deny. That'd be very cool, baby. I'd like that. That'd be neat. This map's taking forever to load. What's the story? May have to just restart DA. Happens sometimes. Oh my gosh, Atlam. My package is in Vegas. It arrived this morning to Vegas. It's at the sorting center. It'll probably be delivered by Monday because it's now the weekend. But here's the thing. There are rumors that the United States Postal Service is going to have a massive strike in a few days. So I totally support them, but I feel like I have the absolute worst luck in the entire world. So there's a very, like, slim chance it may not arrive before the strike. Yeah. Oh, don't even get me started, Eagle. Is it A Eagle? Like American Eagle? Is that what you're going for with your name? Or is it Eagle? Tense. Let's just say tense. That's the word I'll use. Ah, Australian Eagle. Gotcha. Is that what you're going for? Yeah, I'm gonna restart DA. It's just totally tanked. I don't know what's going on here. So, I'm a fan of the show Venture Brothers. I've loved it for years since I was like in my teens, right? Uh-oh. Cool. And where do you find out the rules for the next challenge? So, there's rules pinned at the top of our Dam Challenge channel in our Discord. There's also an entry on our wiki related to the Dam Challenge. Either one can guide you through it, but our Discord is where you're going to want to submit your entry to be qualified. So if you're interested in participating, hop into our Discord, jump into the Dam Challenge channel, check the pins in there. It's very simple, though. The challenge is really more against yourself than everyone else, right? So challenge yourself to make a fun, interesting map, maybe getting outside of your comfort zone or trying something you wouldn't normally do, right? You have between now and the 7th of March to submit your map. End of day in your time zone, so 11:59 p.m. in your time zone on the 7th of March between now and then to submit a map. So 2 weeks, quite a bit of time, roughly 2 weeks. And you would submit it to the Dam Challenge channel and follow the rules pinned at the top to make sure you qualify. You got to submit, basically the map has to be uploaded to the workshop, and you have to share the map in the channel. So the link of it, you have to share an image and, just little stuff like that. Very, very simple. But the point of it is really not to take itself seriously or anything like that. So Bearsoft, finally loaded. I thought you broke my computer. But the challenge is all in fun, and it really just brings out the best in our community because everyone's sharing great ideas with each other, great assets, and these maps are all on the workshop for everyone to benefit from. So at the end of the day, don't take it too seriously or stress yourself out over it. Just have fun, I love the animated tokens that have been just uploaded recently because it's really starting to add the whole NPC loop vibe to the maps. Fantastic, first off. It possibly is because the stream ended. At 2:15, Steam is set to end the feed because you have to set an end time, and when you're setting it up, they don't just let you end whenever you want. You have to tell them when the end time is. For me, it's still running. I can see it, but I think it ends right at 2:15. So 15 after the hour is when I have it set to end on Steam, just in case we run long. Which is indicative of the fact that we should wrap up soon. Hey, Shlomo, how you doing, buddy? I love the pub, though. Just everyone's having fun, hanging out, drinking, eating, partying. Except for this dwarf over here. He's not having a good evening. This brewmaster, though, he looks like he's way into it. Oh, so they're all at war with each other? All these different ports? Like a different nations, I'd assume? But then in the center is like a peaceful area where they can hang out and vibe? So it's like that, the demilitarized zone or something like that. Oh, nice, Shlomo. Doing the pro first-person mode. These are on the workshop. So, and they're tokens, so they'd all be under just tokens. In this case, though, if you downloaded this map, you would get all of these tokens added to your collection in one big go. Did Michelle put them in a collection by chance? All the new assets? The animated tokens? Are these it? No. I know he's been busy because he just moved. So, probably hasn't had a chance. I like the inspiration behind this. So essentially a demilitarized zone where everyone can party, vibe. More often than not, countries, families are torn apart when a country gets split. Like India and Pakistan, is like a very real situation. This happens kind of all the time in the real world, so I'd imagine it would happen in fantasy worlds too. War, cataclysmic events, some kind of overarching magical person that causes some drastic bad turn of events or something. I don't know. The orcs is my favorite. Simple, just over here kicking butt. Art imitating life sounds ominous. I mean, a lot of art takes imitation from life. Oh my, look at all these bodies. Are they swimming? Doesn't look like they're swimming. This one looks dead. There's a corpse. This one looks dead. No, he's kind of moving. That one's swimming though. Very cool. Now, Shlomo, I will warn you when you start downloading assets, be careful because some of them aren't as well optimized as others. And assets from the workshop, they need to load into your RAM before DA loads, so it can cause a problem if you just download anything and everything from the workshop. They're not nearly as optimized as our stock assets. So we recommend only downloading assets as you need them, and unsubscribing if you notice that your Dungeon Alchemist is running slow. And you can do that anytime through Steam. Go to your Dungeon Alchemist in your library, click Workshop, and then from here you can click Your Files next to your name over here. It says Your Workshop Files. Click Subscribe to Items, and then here you can hit Unsubscribe from All. That's a good kind of nuclear option if your Dungeon Alchemist won't boot or is running slow because you subscribe to thousands of assets from the workshop accidentally. We all do it sometimes, so just kind of giving you a warning there. You can unsubscribe from the assets one at a time through Steam, one at a time through Dungeon Alchemist, or en masse on Steam. So if you open up here, subscribed assets, you could click on one of them and just hit unsubscribe. Removes it from your list. Anyway. What's the story with these guys here, Bearsoft? It's fine. Doesn't need a narrative all the way across the board. We can make our own. Oh, let's check it. Let's check it in first person. 1 second. I gotta stand up and stretch. Oh. Quarrel, I get it. I mean, depending on your rig and how much RAM and your computer specs, you might be able to download quite a few of them and keep them on hand. Some of our creators have gotten the extra mile to keep their assets optimized, like SAC and, Dallas RT. Some assets just have been literally taken from other websites like Sketchfab and then repurposed into our workshop. So if they're not necessarily optimized, then, you're essentially making the map massive. So just putting that into perspective, the average DA map, even up to like 100 by 100 map is 10 megabytes or less with stock assets. You use non-stock assets, you're essentially doubling the size. Let's say you have a 15 megabyte asset that you put on the map. It's already double the size and more. If you have a 100 megabyte or a 500 megabyte asset, just be careful when you're downloading them. Whoa! Oh, that does look cool. One thing I would have done... Oh, it's cave. Oh, that's technically a cave, not a canyon, right? That makes sense. Bear is working on a new one for you. Gotcha. I like it. You could just see it over the cave wall. That's why. One thing we could do to kind of help with that, we could put like a rock over it or something. An abstract that looks like sandstone. Like in the rocks though, like there is sandstone rocks, right? Desert rocks. And this one here particularly is rather flat. So we would disable collisions, raise this bad boy up. This is just one way to really block it out if it's like absolutely annoying or detrimental to your story or whatever, you know? I'm more or less just like providing solutions instead of saying no, you know? Like, and so when I see that and you're like, oh, wondering why that's a problem, well, now you got a solution here. Close it off. Feels more like a cave now anyway, right? Oh, my other token's still hiding here. May want to raise these up a bit, but you get the idea. Oh, it is a great way to make floating islands too. Yeah, using the rocks, but the problem is you can't like generate a structure on it. You could put, you know, like a house or, you know, like a prefab object type thing, but that's about it. Ah, love it. See, now we're not getting interference from the outside, but it's still fun. Anyway. Very cool map, Bearsoft. Sorry to kind of tinker with that. I just kind of figured, hey, let's see if we can make it work. Fantastic build, my friend. And again, my apologies for missing it earlier. I think when I skipped over to Watchtower to get his before he had to go, I ended up missing yours when I doubled back. So, well, it was thanks to, who was it that said it? Was it Quarrel that said something? Someone mentioned it. Anyway. I love how their spines look like they're wearing like a back brace when they're walking. Like a penguin, essentially. Like definitely NPCs over here. All right. Thank you, everyone. It's time to wrap up the stream. Holy cow, I just looked over at TikTok and just saw we have 2,000 likes. Thank you so much, TikTok, for so much love today and support. Appreciate everyone who was here today hanging out, whether you were actively chatting or you were lurking in the background, or maybe you just threw us up so you could be a viewer and help us out with getting noticed on our various platforms. Thanks again to the mods who supported the stream today. Atlam, you were an ace. Asmodeus, I appreciate you being here as well. Just big thank you to everyone that participated in the Crossroads Dam Challenge. It was a fantastic theme, a lot of great entries, a lot of fun. All the maps are up on the workshop, and you can also see them in the Dam Challenge channel if you missed it. By Monday, Monday afternoon, I will have the Dam Challenge channel updated, announcing the winner, you know, for anyone who wasn't here, as well as announcing the new theme and the date everything will be due by. Take the weekend, think about what you want to do for your map if you're going to be entering the next Dam Challenge, which is Hellscape. So using Hellscape as inspiration, make a map of any shape or size and submit it before the 7th of March. So you got plenty of time, no rush. By the way, I noticed we had a sub a few minutes ago from YouTube. If you're still here, thank you very much, Timbo, for that sub. Much appreciated. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Our next stream, for anyone that's not aware, will be Monday. That is Monday. Let's see here. The 24th, and that starts at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern, and 5 p.m. UTC. That stream is titled Mapmaker Monday. We are currently working on a massive ancient cemetery complex. This map, I've been working on it for about a half hour a week on stream for about 3 months, and it is getting very close to completion. Currently working on the caretaker's cottage and property. Every massive cemetery has a caretaker, right? So we wanted to make sure he had a nice little space, something that he kind of keeps as his own, away from all the death. That's being pulled up right now, but as you can see, it's quite extensive. This map is 82 by 82 at the moment. Started in this corner here and has just been expanding. We have some grave sites, kind of just medium style graves. Parking for a massive cathedral where they host funerals. Big bell tower. Lovely garden. More graves. These are more like the saints, of this church. Paladins, clerics, different people in service of the chapel. Big, huge crossroads, so there's lots of room to navigate this entire, property. Here we have a private gravesite fenced off. I'm thinking more like royalty, And then here is the caretaker's cabin or cottage, which we've been working on for the past couple of weeks. It's coming along. We have some lovely stone pathways. We're going to have some garden beds and an indoor kind of lovely greenhouse, shed, tools, all sorts of stuff around the property. Areas where he has overflow of dirt and stones and things like that from digging graves. It's coming along, though, so if you want to tune in and watch a map get made in real time from someone with over 3,000 hours of map-making experience in just Dungeon Alchemist, tune in. You can ask questions in real time, get support in AMA format in real time on the stream so you can see the answer to your problem if you need it, you need support. Additionally, just a fun place to hang out, get to know your like-minded map makers in the community, get tips and tricks about DA, and just generally learn how to be an amazing map maker and GM. Good space to be. So we hope to see you there Monday. Let's see here. Any other news of interest? Things coming up? Nope, I don't think so. So, without further ado then, I guess we'll wrap it up. So, my name is Mac. I am the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. Dungeon Alchemist is the amazing map-making program you see in front of you. It is available on Steam for one-time purchase for a lifetime license, or you can download our demo and try before you buy, see how it runs on your system, and see if you're interested in what you're seeing here, if it works for you and in your gameplay style, your GMing. But I guess with that, we'll wrap it up. Thank you so much for being here. We'll see you next time. I give a damn. Back out. Bye. Oh, Icebreaker, you dropped in right when we're leaving. It's good to see you. Appreciate you being here. Unfortunately, I must adjourn. Yeah, I know. We're just taking off and we ran about 35 minutes long today, so you actually were lucky you caught me. We'll be back Monday, though, so tune in Monday. See you later, Sean. See you, Icebreaker. See you, Atlam. See you, Chim. Thank you, everyone, for being here. It was a great stream, and if you want to check the VOD, it's going to be available. You can start watching it right away. We'll see you around, everyone. Bye! Back out. We're going to run a quick Dungeon Alchemist themed ad, and we're going to wrap up the stream.
You stand before the long, dark road to the fabled realm of Doyak Ta, and before
What do we see?
I don't know, a goblin.
I kill him.
But before she does, I, Gilliam of Firth, demand to know the goblin's name.
Hi, my name is Woblin.
Where do you live there, Woblin?
I don't think that's relevant.
Well, but I, Gilliam of Firth, demand to seek the goblin's abode.
Clever. Find family. Kill entire bloodline. I like it.
Seriously, we're doing this? Okay, well, won't be needing that anymore, will I?
Ever get caught by your players with your pants down? Dungeon Alchemist lets you create wonderful maps for any encounter in seconds.
Oh, Woblin, that's a very impressive cheese collection you've got there.
Yeah, it is quite impressive, yes. But you know what's more impressive?
This map I have to the fabled realm of Goyak Ta. Please take it and leave. Close the door behind you.
Mr. Woblin, I cannot help but notice that you have a secret tunnel underneath your cabinet. Care to explain?
Download Dungeon Alchemist, the AI-powered map maker, on Steam today.
Thank you for being here, everyone. We'll see you next time. Back out. Sure, my friend. Go ahead and ask. To be honest, offhand, I'd never even noticed that. The likely thing is they one of two things. I'd imagine either it was staged for the ad or it's from an older build. The ad's like 2 years old now. The other thing to consider is if you build something and then undo it and then redo it, it has to follow the order of what you were doing. So it's possible that they use that workflow to do that. Does that make sense? However, though, I'd have to take a closer look at it to even make an assessment. I'll think about that next time we chat. Bring it up and we'll talk about it. Okay? But that is a good question. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. Like, why is there not all these doors everywhere? I'll bring that up and see what there is to try and fix that. Offhand, though, I don't know what was done there. Have a good one. Talk to you later. Bye.